portion of downtown San Diego could be revitalized in a way that was very ambitious. He balances the dreaming with the practical matters of securing civic consensus and actually attracting financial capital to cause these potential redevelopments to actually occur.
Here we are standing on the beautiful 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica on an extraordinarily beautiful day. And of course we know that it was Boris's vision to recreate this and make it a vibrant space.
We all thought it would be fine, it would work, but it hit big, far beyond our initial dreams. And we were the first to do something like this. Public-private partnership.
This place really drives the economy in Santa Monica. Not only has it benefited the businesses right here on the 3rd Street Promenade, but people want to live in Santa Monica and people want to work here because this place exists and because people can come and take advantage of the great environment out here. From where he stood here over 20 years ago, and there was nothing, for him to be able to visualize what this could be is truly amazing. And we see now that it really has become what he envisioned way back then. The Civic Center process, at the beginning, we weren't really sure where this process was going. I think Boris did a really good job of making sure that at every meeting we were making some progress and that we were coalescing around a vision for the Civic Center.
Boris began pinning up on the wall with actual dimensions, various public spaces from the plaza in Siena, the open piazza of Siena, to Bryant Park, to other kinds of open spaces, and as well as then open spaces in Santa Monica like Palisades Park, and to compare and contrast the size and geometry and function of those open spaces. And it was a great breakthrough, I think, for the citizens and all of the government leaders there to understand what their choices were.
I had never envisioned adding streets to the Civic Center as a way to make it more pedestrian friendly. But I absolutely believe that was the right thing to do. Adding a street grid will change the scale of the Civic Center in a way that makes it much more human.
This is another word I learned from Boris, the idea of grain, and he would show the different block sizes of different urban situations. And one of the major things was reintroduce this cross-street Olympic Drive, which would alleviate the worst traffic congestion that we have at the four corners of the Civic Center.
There was some controversy around the original Civic Center plan, and some residents decided to try and take that to the ballot. I thought it was really important that the public be informed about what the plan really was, and had this idea, and the council supported it, which was to put the entire specific plan in the sample ballot, with all the illustrations and text and everything that Roma had produced.
And it won overwhelmingly with 60% of the vote. Tremendous amount of open space in the plan, really usable parks, and very good public spaces, and people responded to that.
What really have struck me is how global the projects are. New city center in Tianjin, projects in San Francisco. There are actually a whole series of new towns that is being formed outside Moscow. A couple of them were actually under Boris's concern, and I was very impressed. So I think somehow maybe there's a kind of hidden manifesto in their work that is the commonality of public space and commonality of urban quality through different cultures and different economy, which I think it should be a role model for our practice and teaching.
What Boris has been able to do internationally has been very, very important, and not, I think, an arbitrary imposition of some American paradigm, but something that's truly appropriate to place.
I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land.
Today, as we mark the 32nd anniversary of my husband's assassination, it is fitting that we express our support for the campaign to establish a national memorial honoring his life and legacy in Washington, D.C.
Bonnie and I, we both said, you know, there would be nothing more exciting than to be able to design a memorial for someone that has influenced everyone's life, not only African Americans and not only the civil rights issues, but when you really think about it, he was an outstanding figure for all of us during that period of time. And we got all of the talents of our office to apply to the creation of an entry for it, and I guess they received something close to 1,000 entries, and we were selected as the winner of the competition. And we created a joint venture with Deveron Purnell, an African-American firm in Washington, D.C. The design of the memorial really builds on the environment of the existing context where it is to be located between Jefferson and Lincoln, who are at opposite ends of the site.
We wanted to try to build on the progression of the arrival experience from Independence Avenue, looking towards the tidal basin and on to the Jefferson Memorial across the water, and set up for the visitor the idea that there is a very important relationship between the Jefferson Memorial and the Dr. King Memorial. Not to tell the entire story and not to tell the entire message, but let the story unfold in everybody individually. And if they started putting together the pieces in their own mind, it would become much more individual and much more significant. We're very interested in the social dimension of space. What does it mean for people? How do people come together? How do people interact? You're really working in a place where what's important is the ability to understand democracy. So the concept of working on the Dr. King Memorial was something that really hearkened very strongly to our own feelings and sensibilities about how public space can be made better and can contribute in its own way to the broadening of those same kinds of ideals.
It's an exciting project and very exciting to have an influence on building a memorial to a great man of our generation.
You know, I think what Boris has done with his career is a very important lesson for architects. Some architects need to escape the boundaries of an individual building and become great designers of public space, and too few do. And so I think in getting this award at an architecture school, I think it's very relevant that an urban designer gets it, and hopefully that'll be an inspiration for some to move beyond the individual building to the most extraordinary design challenge of all, which is shaping cities.
You know, as I'm getting older and I look back and you start to think about people that you were really glad to meet in your lifetime. And Boris Dramov is one of those individuals. I look back, I'm saying I was really blessed to have not only known him, but be able to work with him. It really was just a blessing. And there's just a handful of people I would say that about, but he's one of them.
You know, I was trained as an architect, and I came to work with Boris, you know, and then I found out, you know, urban design is much more exciting with much more depth. Boris changed my life, period. When I run into challenges and difficult times, I would say, if I were Boris, what would I do?
I'm Willie Brown, formerly the mayor of San Francisco, but more important, for this video, I'm a friend of the man being honored on this occasion, Boris Dramov. Boris is unusual in that whether it's simply designing buildings or laying out the landscape or doing city planning, he has his foot in each one of those camps. And he is so well respected by the colleagues with whom he works that they follow his leadership. As mayor, I've been the beneficiary of that leadership. He's so special, making a difference in the lives of people. As the leader of Roma, that's exactly what Boris is doing. And I congratulate SC for having such great wisdom to pay this man the honor he richly deserves.